Hi, my name is Jayne. I'm the owner and lead designer of Still Carnations. We're an event floral studio based here in Los Angeles. We're with Mayesh today to do a little demo on how to create your own eclectic springtime inspired tablescape. When you're creating an eclectic tablescape, I find it very important to have an initial source of inspiration, and then that way, when you're pulling different colors and textures, you still have that grounding element and something to go back to. So for this springtime tablescape, I was really inspired by this plate by Mackenzie Childs with these butterflies of different sizes that have different patterns on them. Some of them are checkered, some of them are striped. It's very colorful, but I wanted to make sure that the flowers complemented this but didn't take away from it. So this is what I've chosen. We have some Eremurus, these amazing Fringed Gerberas, which Mayesh does so well. And we have on the opposite side of the color wheel some gorgeous Lavender Clematis. Obviously, I love my Carnations, some sweet peas in two different tones. So we have this peachy pink and this incredible blue sweet pea. And when you see poppies, you never say no. They're in perfect bloom right now, so I'm really excited to use those. With this tablescape, since we'll have so many details on the table, I want to pare down the floral arrangements so that each moment has room to breathe. So for example, with this vase, which I love, this little ceramic green guy, we're going to use analogous colors so that it has its little pop of green and retains that minimalist quality. So I'm gonna put in some amaranth. And then with this, we may want to add some of this gorgeous blue. I'm going to add one short and one tall, again, to just keep your eye moving around the table. And I feel like with that, it just needs a little bit of this Lavender Clematis to color this arrangement a little bit more and keep within this cool color story. So there's that one, and I feel pretty stoked about that. So with the red vase, I want to go the opposite way and use a lot of warm colors, so maybe this gorgeous poppy. Have her facing that way, and then we can warm it up with this Gerbera. So again, we're using a lot of different elements, but still keeping that minimalist look by keeping them in the same color story. And so as you move your eye around the table, each color story has its little moment. So this peachy Ranunculus brings in those warm hues but softens it up a little bit. And then I'm gonna add another poppy kind of closer to the bottom. Oh, and one trick with the poppies that I want to show is that they're very delicate and you want them to last as long as possible. And one thing that can help with that is if you singe the ends. You can't do this with all flowers, but it works really well with poppies. And you just cauterize the end of it, and it keeps the bacteria from inside from seeping into the water and keeps it fresh for so much longer. Okay, so there's that. With this, we adhered a pin frog to the bottom of this wooden salt dish or a condiment dish. So for this one, maybe we'll bring in these sweet peas, which have such great movement and smell amazing. I wish everyone could smell this. You want to cut some of it really short so that your eye continues to move around the arrangement. We'll add one of these amazing anthuriums. And I'm feeling really good about that one. Okay, so we have a few bud vases going so far, a little ikebana dish, and I'm going to work on this cloche. I'm just going to use a loose pin frog, and if you're doing this for an event that's going to be outside or it's a little warm that day, you definitely want to provide like a water source for it. But for this purpose, we're just going to put the pin frog in the center and put a couple flowers in there. So when I'm thinking about flowers for a table, I always love incorporating a couple tall elements. So for this table, we're going to have taper candles that are really tall, but I also want to add a tall arrangement that can live at the end of the table or in between seats as to not obstruct the guest view of one another and let conversation flow. So for this one, we're going to use this cool bubble vase that ties in the glass cloche element with the metallic element, and use some of our like superstar flowers to make it really stand out. And a rule of thumb is, in order to not obstruct people's view, I like to think about 18 inches or so of clearance before there's like a big flower, so that when guests are sitting, they can look under or over flowers. So with this, I'm just gonna give a quick trim. And we're gonna use some Oncidium orchids. These kind of remind me of the butterflies in the plates. When you look at each orchid bloom, they're just so light and airy. I'm really liking how this one is feeling. So once we have our arrangements made, we're going to set the table, place the arrangement so that it looks good compositionally, and then do a little on-table styling to make sure it all comes together cohesively. So by choosing patterns that riffed off of our original inspiration and using things like little tangerine branches to tie in everything to create a cohesive runner of decor, we've created a springtime inspired eclectic tablescape using Mayesh's flowers, and I really hope you like it. I want to say thank you to Mayesh for providing all the beautiful flowers, and to Amiga Studios for being such amazing collaborators and providing this awesome space for us to make these videos. And with that, I'm gonna say cheers.